Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the field, your LSU Tigers.
Get some! Also, run me my trophy. I am your 2022 Heisman winner, Dereck and Jalen. Left tackle. Yeah, they let a tackle win Heisman. Cry about it.
What's that? They're revving up the early, taking Austin field. Please welcome your Oregon Ducks.
Don't forget your biggest bitch award.
I got something. You guys gonna join me or? That being said, we are in the spirit. It is now football season time around the country, as y'all can see by our attire. We are representing the college football teams that we respectfully root for. As y'all can tell by what I walked into, I'm an Oregon Ducks fan. Dereck, he's a LSU Tigers fan.
Yes, I am.
They're really looking a little tight on him.
Listen, we're not going to talk story.
But that being said, welcome to episode 16 of the WhattaPlay podcast.
The WhattaPlay we'll call it what? The NCAA preview.
Yeah, so this is another WhattaSpecial. We'll work on that later. I kind of just made that up.
I mean, I think Whataburger might try to sue us for that, but when that time comes, that time comes.
Also, this is the Jake Plummer episode. We know we've been gone again, but this time it's because we had technical difficulties.
This time it was a mixture of technical difficulties and our work schedules not really lining up. So, just work with us on that. We do appreciate the channel still growing. We are currently sitting at 54 subscribers over on YouTube. I don't know if you knew that, but channel ever so growing.
That being said, as always, co-host Jalen, co-host Dereck, and we just get right into it, man. So, like we said, this is our NCAA preview. College football is around the corner, and what's college athletics without some, groundbreaking headlines of the offseason? So, one of the big ones in the offseason for just college athletics as a whole is, at long last, they can get paid.
Yes, and I think that is long overdue. College athletes should have been able to profit off their likeness. Let's see, probably further back than this, but you remember when the old classic NCAA 14 came out, one of the best college football games, I think.
Yes, and I do have my regrets that I wasn't able to play this gentleman in the NCAA 14 because, as we all know, I wouldn't have ran through him with Anthony Thompson that back.
We can make it happen. I mean, I have a 360. Let's just find the game and we can set that up. Grab another controller and...
Yeah, and so, basically, like I said, going back, you can even go back to Reggie Bush. He was kind of one of the main benefactors of college athletes getting paid.
But yes, because you cut me off before I could finish speaking. You're not Kanye. That said, the likeness and jersey numbers and names that should have been able to go on those athletes' jerseys, they would have got paid for that. And that's what I had to say on that. And so I'll hand the floor back over to you, co-host Jalen.
Right. And also, the main thing, so they can make profit off of their jersey just like you do in the pros. You're not just walk around with like a blank number jersey with no name on the back. And also, kind of the main thing I was speaking on, I think we touched on it earlier, I can't remember, is you also have to, look at it like this. These guys are also college students. For those who were fortunate enough to pursue higher education, college can get expensive. We're not trying to eat no ramen noodles every single night. We're trying to at least, go down to, the little burger joint, just off of campus.
Yeah,
you get where I'm coming from.
Ramen noodles and $5 Little Caesars pizzas. That gets boring after a while.
The cafeteria only stays open so long.
Yeah, and plus you don't want to be eating cafeteria food all the time. Like we didn't even do that shit in high school.
No, well, college campuses cafeteria
it's a whole different ball game. I get what you're saying.
Right. So kind of some notable college football athletes to already start to make money off of them. We have the likes of Oklahoma quarterback Spencer Rattler. He officially signed to an agency and he has his own merch that he came out with. I'm not going to really get any of it because I'm not an OU fan. Oregon defensive end Kayvon Tebow, he signed a 6-figure deal with Tinker Hatfield. For those who don't know, Tinker Hatfield is one of the minds behind Nike, Jordan, all that good stuff, all the fun stuff that I'm obviously into. He signed a lucrative deal with them. Kind of like a digital painting type thing. It's kind of confusing on what he's endorsing himself. If I kind of knew what it was, I'd probably get it. But there's that. And then, of course, Bo Nix, Auburn quarterback, he signed a Sweet Tea endorsement deal. So those are obviously there are a lot of other college athletes who have signed endorsement deals. Those are just kind of the main names.
Did you just say a Sweet Tea endorsement deal?
It's Alabama. So,
yes, but I think that's like the first.
Milo, that's what's called. Milo Sweet Tea. I just have to think of the name. So, Milo Sweet Tea endorsement deal. That's what Bo Nix signed with.
All right, nice. And it's nice to see that these athletes are getting paid. Obviously we had back in the day, like, your guy Kyler Murray should have been profiting. Lamar.
This guy definitely he kind of did make some money illegally, but that's for another story.
Hotel Beckham.
Basically all the big name college stars from the past decade, and then even going further back. So nowadays, obviously, they get paid for it, and for the most part, everyone's happy. So going from that, kind of one other thing that kind of relates to this story that I want to touch base on. I don't know if the name Quinn Ewers rings a bell to you.
Vaguely.
So he is a top recruit for not this season coming up, but the next season, 2022. Star quarterback, South Carolina High School, Dallas area. He's an Ohio State commit. He is foregoing his senior year of high school to enroll early at Ohio State. So I'll let you speak on it first. You kind of know the gist of it. I'll let you speak on it first, and then I'll say my piece on it.
Well, my piece is I think college or future potential college athletes who have that availability to them definitely should forego that because, you can get started early on college. Obviously, you would think his next steps to try to make it to the big leagues, right? NFL.
I was thinking Ohio State, that's kind of...
Ohio State's big
If you're
leagues.
good enough, you're
Ohio State, Bama, LSU. We'll throw Oregon in there.
Yeah, Oregon doesn't have as many...
I guess you got to throw UT and A&M in there just because Texas football, We're in Texas. I'm not going to say where, but,
Hawaii.
Yeah. The big threes in Texas are what? Barbecue, beer, and football.
Necessarily in that order. Now, from my point of view, I kind of look like this. You're skipping your senior year of high school, so you're gonna miss, homecoming, prom, all the cool, fun stuff that a typical high school senior would get to do. You're skipping all that to basically ride the bench at Ohio State. Yeah, you get to learn the playbook. You'll probably get started a little bit early on college. I don't know if they're gonna give him a GED, if he's gonna get his diploma early. I don't know.
He might just be taking extra courses right now in order to enroll in early college.
Possibly, something like that. But I'm not really on board with it, just with the whole, you're gonna skip all that just to go to Ohio State. Like they said, like older people will say, it's not going nowhere. Ohio State's right there. He seems like he's a good enough kid to not, screw up off the field, which unfortunately there have been cases of star prospects and college athletes to have unfortunately go down that path. But I'm not really on board with it. I mean, obviously, best of luck to him in his future endeavors, unless Oregon plays them in the playoffs down the road, which in that case, I'm going to want them to lose again.
Yes.
And so, going from that, the other big time headline making news in college football, the University of Oklahoma and the University of Texas will join the SEC in 2025, and that's been the talk of really the sports world for the past few weeks, and that's also has jump-started potential rumors of the Pac-12 and the remaining schools in the Big 12 to possibly align together. Now, you obviously being a fan of an SEC school, first off, what are your thoughts of two of college football's most prestigious names joining y'all's conference?
I think I put a tweet out about this not too long ago over on the WhattaPlay page, where I stated we do not need every college team joining the SEC. And that's not because I'm scared of the competition, but you want to have different schools in different divisions so you can have, those different matchups. You don't want it to just be like, oh, everybody joins the SEC. Or let's say, for example, let's transfer it over to like the NFL real quick. That's like if everybody joins the AFC North or the NFC South, then those other teams aren't, you get what I'm saying? They're not as competitive. There's no edge there. So like, I think relatively financially it's a good idea because it will bring in money.
You know damn well all these schools care about one thing, and that's the money. Mm-hmm. So
they didn't want to give it to your athletes though, did you, until now?
I mean, UT alone, they're gonna bring in a boatload of money kind of just off of the Longhorn Network.
Yep.
And the SEC has its own network, so that alone is going to be a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, kind of from my perspective, I have an old high school teacher of mine who is an OU alum, diehard Sooners fan. I remember talking about him, Baker, Kyler Murray, all that good stuff, and he gave me his 2 cents on it. He's excited for it because it's the whole, Oklahoma is going to be playing, your Alabamas, Floridas, Georgias, in the regular season and not just, in a playoff game. I guess for me, you kind of have to look at it like, okay, so it's not going to happen for, a few more years. By the time we hit 2025, when we are much older, who's to say that most of those schools that are named are really going to even be competitive? I mean, they probably will be. Nick Saban's going to probably end up being like Coach Pop. He's going to keep coaching until he's like...
He's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, so... And also you kind of look at it as... my teacher also brings up recruiting battles. Oklahoma, they kind of... With them coming to the SEC, they get to recruit more going south, so to speak. So they get to, branch out and get more Georgia and Florida commits and possibly some Louisiana commits. Oh, I forgot about LSU too. I forgot about
that. Yes, LSU.
For both of those schools in general, Texas, obviously, if you're like real good in the state of Texas, you're probably going to go to UT. Because UT has been getting a lot of good 4 and 5-star recruits the past few years. UT, they also branch out to the West Coast, California, and all that. But if you really look at it, obviously, recruiting battles is going to be a lot more interesting because you're going to have these 2 big-name schools trying to get, these athletes. And let's be honest, Oklahoma kind of has an edge. Because all I got to do is say, hey, I know you got to see them Jordan BEs we got. We got your size in the back if you come to us.
Yeah, so recruiting's going to get like co-host Jalen said, recruiting's going to get a lot more easier because now, they used to do it under the table, be like, hey, I get you a date with Paris Hilton, blah, 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 blah.
Or, with Alabama, like, hey, you see a Hellcat parked down the driveway?
You see your cousin over there? I'm sorry, Alabama, I had to.
Anyways, a Hellcat in the front yard. Hey, but yours come on over to Bama. You know, you see these ratings right here. You can get about maybe 2 of these right here.
Shout out to Bama legend Forrest Gump.
You know, probably first round draft pick as well. But you know, we'll see what happens. I mean, you know where to find me.
Yeah, and like co-host Jalen was saying, and like I said, it's a lot easier for prospects to be pitched things now. You know, it's not like your high-level NFL contracts. I'm gonna sign for 4 years, $78 million. But you know, you can be like, hey, we got this. We'll make you a team captain. You'll have a say in quarterback meetings, stuff like that.
Yeah, something like that. So, that being said, we're gonna kind of go over who we think is gonna win the respective big Power 5 conferences and go over some Heisman hopefuls and you know things of that nature. So, coming from me, SEC champ. Let's keep it a buck.
It's Bama.
Yeah,
like biasness aside, as much as I wish LSU could get back to what they were in 2019, we are not gonna see that for realistically, I'll say 5 to 6 more seasons.
Yeah, but I mean, also one thing you kind of have to look at is Bama once again, you know, lost the quarterback, lost their running back, lost their receivers, so they're starting all over again. But since it's Bama, you also have you know these kids waiting in the wings who are also you know 4 or 5 star recruits. So with Bama as it is, every other year it's like, all right, next man up, keep cycle going.
Alabama is the college equivalent of Bill Belichick's New England Patriots.
Before Tom Brady left.
I'll still say even now because like yeah, they had one bad season, but we'll see what they do.
Right, but then of course you know you also bring in you know Georgia, Florida. They've been having you know 11, 12 win seasons the past few years, going to near 6 games, winning near 6 games. Georgia was only about maybe a couple plays away a couple years ago from beating Alabama in the national championship game in Atlanta. So yes, Bama is going to be the overwhelming favorite, but don't count on Georgia and Florida. And so with the Big Ten, for those who are unfamiliar, that's you know Ohio State, Michigan, that's their conference. I'm gonna kind of throw a curveball here and kind of throw a shocker out there. I think I kind of have Wisconsin win the Big Ten this year, and,
Really?
and I'm not just saying that just because our friend Ryan's from Milwaukee. Ohio State, they've won the Big Ten past 5-6 years. 5 of the last 6 years, something like that. I know Penn State won the Big Ten a couple years ago. Anyways, same thing with Alabama. You look at all the talent that Ohio State left. Justin Fields left. Trey Sermon left. So you're also, again, starting over with new players who, yeah, they're probably going to be, you know, 3, 4, 5 star recruits, but they're kind of unproven. The only PT they've gotten was mop-up duty compared to, you know, Wisconsin. They're always just that one team that nobody really pays attention to, but when you look up, it's like, oh, 10, 11, 12 wins, and they're like right there in the thick of it. Michigan, I got nothing against Michigan. I got nothing against Jim Harbaugh.
Hey, he is one of the Harbaugh brothers, but are we still in the Big Ten right now?
Yeah, we're still kind of with the Big Ten.
All right.
Kind of off topic, but hey, I'm not a Michigan fan, but I sure love some of the PEs. I'm 8.5. But yeah, that's kind of my first big shocker there. Anything you'd like to add on the Big Ten?
Ohio State's winning the Big Ten. I believe there's this old verbiage. The more things change, the more they stay the same. And much like Bama, yeah, Ohio State, like co-host Jalen said, they're going to lose out on some players, some notable guys. Justin Fields not there. He's doing his thing in the Windy City now. But that's why you have these 2, 3, 4, 5-star recruits come in. They're unproven, but that's what they're there to do. They're there to prove themselves. And obviously, I don't want to stick with everything you're saying, too, so we're going to have some different picks here.
Yes.
Since, you know, apparently I'm biased.
I mean...
Oh, that wasn't directed towards you. That was directed towards your pops. Hi, Jalen's dad.
Yeah, you're not welcome over no more. But so going to the Big 12. Let's be honest. There's not really any competition in the Big 12. Oklahoma for I think is it's probably the 7th year in a row. They are my pick to win the Big 12. Iowa State, they kind of came out of nowhere, made the Big 12 championship game. They hung with Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game, so that's also another sleeper pick right there. Well, Matt Campbell has done up in Ames, Iowa. He's kind of transformed that program into being relevant. Brock Purdy. He kind of broke my heart after what he did to my Ducks in the Fiesta Bowl, but he's definitely one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the country to a lot of people. And also with UT, they have Steve Sarkisian coming in that will know his reputation. Again, like I said earlier, UT, they've been getting a couple 4 or 5-star recruits the past few years. So to say UT can finally be back, me obviously being a native Texan, I would love to see UT recapture that magic of the Vince Young, Colt McCoy era that I literally grew up with.
Shout out former UT player Justin Tucker.
I was forgetting one other UT alum on your team.
Give it a second.
Yeah, we have to give him a few seconds sometimes.
Sean Elliott.
One other guy? Wow, I thought he was the biggest member of the flock.
I never said I was the biggest member. That's
Shout out Devin Duvernay as well.
Oh shit, my boy Duvernay.
Nah, look at you.
Damn, I feel stupid
caught
for
you,
that one.
Caught you in 4K.
And I hyped Duvernay up last season too. Damn.
Caught you in 4K. So that's our Big 12 prediction.
Wait, I didn't give my.
My apologies. What are your thoughts on the Big 12?
I agree that I would like to see Texas get back to that dominant form that they once were way back in the day. I compare it to how the over in the NBA, how the Knicks got back to form this past season after being irrelevant for how many seasons now.
I can see that, but to kind of go back to how they used to be, I mean, yeah, the Knicks in the 90s were really good. In the 2000s, they were kind of...
The Melo led.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, when Melo was there, they were relevant again, but when he left, that's when they sucked.
Yep. Julius Randle can't be your franchise guy. I hate to say it.
Yeah, it can be Derrick Rose.
Point God.
Yes, sir. So, Oklahoma Big 12 champs again?
Yeah.
All right. And Pac-12, yeah, I'm going to sound hella biased by me saying this, but we're going to keep it short.
He going to say Oregon.
We're going to keep it sweet. Oregon Ducks, 3-peat.
But hold on, before we do that, give me the rundown of the other teams in that conference so I can see if I'm on the same page as you.
All right, so all joking aside, there are definitely a couple teams in the Pac-12 who give us a run for the money. The Utah Utes, a couple years ago, they were an 11-win team. Oregon matched up with them in the Pac-12 title game. They gave us a run for money. They're always one of those teams, again, just like Wisconsin. You don't really pay them no mind, but when you look up, they got 10, 11 wins. USC, the team that Oregon played in the Pac-12 title game this past season, they're also there as well. This is one of those teams I really can't sleep on. And as much as I really, really hate to say this, because my father, who is from Seattle, a diehard Washington Huskies fan, can't count out the dogs either. But just know, it's always dubs down. Let's go Ducks.
Oh, you have a dad? That's cool. What's that like?
I mean, it's alright, I guess.
Alright, but yeah, all joking aside, Ducks.
Yes, sir. 3-peat. Coach C getting us back to where it should be. And I'm not going to say that we're going to make the playoffs this year because, I mean, we have to go undefeated in order for us to make the playoffs this year, if I'm being honest.
And I'm not going to say LSU is making the playoffs because if that happens, holy freaking shit.
I mean, only game we really have to worry about is Ohio State. If we can beat Ohio State, we're chilling the rest of the year.
We got to worry about Bama as always. I think we play Florida.
A&M's actually good again.
A&M's good, and then I think we play. I was looking it up. I think UCLA to open the season, but
that's UCLA though. Let's be
true.
honest. All right, so the last
their relevance was the freaking language. Lonzo Ball when he was there.
That's basketball.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what they're known for. They're not really known for their football program.
Anyways, so the last Power 5 conference we'll touch on is the ACC, and as we all know, Clemson has ran that conference the last couple of seasons.
Yes, they ran it when Deshaun Watson was playing there. They continued that when Trevor Lawrence. Except 2019, who took that? LSU, baby. Joe Burrow made Trevor Lawrence his bitch.
I'm a family man.
No, you're not. You have to pull up the text messages.
Hey, you better chill out.
I
have family watching this
show.
show. All right.
I do too, but
so so Clemson, you can even go back to the Taj Boyd era, running the ACC, but in my opinion, there's gonna be a new king of the Atlantic Coast, and I gotta go with North Carolina, man. I mean, what Mac Brown has done since he came back to Chapel Hill, he took them to a New Year's Six Bowl just this past season. Sam Howell, he's already getting a lot of talks of potentially being a top pick in the draft next year. And I feel like with Clemson, they also lost a lot of people. Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, they're teammates again in Jacksonville. And also a lot of other key pieces to their football team, they lost to the draft. Nothing against, let me see here, nothing against DJ, I'm gonna butcher this name, Galili. It's a I don't know name. I butchered that like crazy. I know I did. Nothing against him. When he played kind of in an emergency role last year when Trevor Lawrence got COVID, he did his thing. But
so you're not taking Clemson this year?
I'm going North Carolina.
I am taking Clemson this year. Just because, I don't want this podcast to always be me and you agreeing on the same stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of reasonable.
So you gotta have it. I mean, obviously, we'll come back to this.
We'll come back come December when we have the conference championship games and all that.
Yeah. All that good stuff. So I think we're on our Heisman hopefuls now, right? Or do we got some more stuff to get into before that?
So this is the last bit of the college we're going to talk about before we do the fun segment. So going into the season, obviously, there are the list of Heisman hopefuls.
Yeah, just do me a solid, list them off, and I'll go based off of what you got.
All right, so a lot of the big names that are Heisman hopefuls as well. We have Spencer Rattler, quarterback from Oklahoma. Again, DJ Galili, quarterback for Clemson. Again, I butchered that name like crazy. Like I mentioned earlier, Sam Howell, quarterback for North Carolina. Kenan Slovis, quarterback for USC. And JT Daniels, the quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs. Those are the main names in the Heisman running for this year. And also, I guess we can throw in one name, Bryce Young, quarterback for Alabama.
Does my heart really want me to go with an Alabama quarterback to win the Heisman?
All of Alabama's Heisman winners were not quarterbacks.
I know, because I know 2009 it was Mark Ingram, and then I think the most recent was Devontae Smith, correct? Or do I have that wrong?
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah, so I don't foresee a quarterback from Bama, like co-host Jalen said, winning.
Nothing against quarterbacks from Bama.
It's just you got so many dominant playmakers on Alabama, like you got the running backs. Let's say they have a dominant tight end, for example. The tight end could win. The wide receiver could win. But give me Spencer Rattler for the Heisman.
All right. So, I really don't have, at this point in time, I personally don't have a clear-cut favorite on who I think is going to win the Heisman. Nothing against Spencer Rattler, but I don't really see him continuing the trend of Oklahoma quarterbacks winning the Heisman. Again, with Ungalili, he had played some mop-up duty last year when Trevor Lawrence was out with COVID, but he proved that he's not to be taken lightly. Sam Howell, again, that's a big name that a lot of people are throwing around in Heisman talk. So, me personally, at this point in time, I do not have a favorite, but like they
We'll
say,
come
like
back down to it down the line.
Time will tell.
Yes.
So, now that we got all the college talk out of the way,
I think we're gonna save the fun segment for the end. As we
yeah.
usually
But
do,
did you
right?
want to talk about some other stuff?
I did want to talk about some other stuff.
NBA free agency.
Yep.
You know, you have
NBA free agency.
Yeah,
I got
something
some
you wanna talk
stuff
about?
to
And
say
I
about
definitely-
that.
have something to talk about.
And then there's like some stuff. So free agency happened recently, right?
Yeah.
The big granddaddy of them all. We always look forward to that time in the NBA. The Lakers really went into buyer mode this season. Yes, Jalen is a Lakers hater. Obviously, it is what it is. He's a Spurs fan. That's what makes this friendship so great, I guess. I mean,
Who'd y'all get?
we got, you might know, Mr. Triple Double.
Brody?
We got Brody.
Y'all got Brody, bro?
We got Russell Westbrook. Yeah.
Russell Westbrook?
Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
So that was exciting to see when we did the trade for him. I think Kuzma's ass got sent packing to DC. Don't go exploring downtown Baltimore by yourself, Kuz.
Yeah, he's too pretty to be lost in downtown DC by himself.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got him. Was very excited to see. I think I texted y'all about why you bitches didn't text me.
Because we were just busy with other stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But that said, we also got Melo, and not the great value one. We got Carmelo Anthony, which I am really excited about. Obviously, yes, he's a bit up there in age.
So is LeBron.
So is LeBron.
So is Russ.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure AD is like in his 30s now.
I think KD's relatively young still.
Okay,
but
so late 20s, early 30s, same concept.
same. Yeah. But we got Melo, and that was exciting for me because Carmelo Anthony is one of my all-time favorite basketball players. I wanted him on the Lakers back in 2014 when we were ass. But that said, we also got Dwight Howard back for a third stint. That one kind of threw me off guard. But obviously Marc Gasol is up there in age. I think as is Dwight, but Dwight Howard can provide a little bit more. We got Kent Bazemore. He signed with us. We also got
Trevor Ariza.
Trevor Ariza's back for another stint with the Lake Show. And there's another guy.
Were you a fan when he was there the last time he was there?
Yeah.
What championship team was he on then? Test your knowledge real quick.
Test my knowledge. Let's see. He wasn't on the three-peat Lakers because that was way too early. So let's say 09, 010 or 010, 09, 10, right?
2009.
Yeah. So I know my shit.
Good. I need to make sure you're not one of these little kids who comment ratio L and young boys better in all the comment sections.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not one of those.
I was making sure.
LeBron's the GOAT. That would be our friend Ryan.
I was making sure.
I have a different GOAT and you have a different GOAT too. This presser is over. No, I'm playing. But yeah, and then there was one other guy, I think something Nunn. I'm not too familiar with
Kendrick
him.
Nunn.
Kendrick Nunn, thank you. So I'm excited for the moves. I can't wait to see how that transfers onto paper. I do believe you got something you want to share in
Yes,
regards
sir.
to...
As of whatever time it is in Slovenia, as of yesterday, if y'all can see, that boy Luka, 5-year, $207 million rookie extension. So let's just say I'm gonna be riding with Triple D for the next couple of seasons. You're not from here, so you don't get that. But
Listen, all I'm saying is that you're gonna be investing into more Luka jerseys now.
oh, most definitely. I'm definitely planning on getting me a new one when the new ones come out.
Your Luka jerseys are gonna be the equivalent to how I try to get Kobe's jerseys now. It's not a bad thing. It's just an observation.
I mean, yeah, that's not. I mean, I really couldn't do it with Tim Duncan because I was too young, and obviously Kawhi left. So
Yes. mind that. We just got some outside noise. That was the.
Yeah, all seriousness, this is definitely well deserved. For Luka, for being in his 30 in the NBA, what he's already accomplished, already a two-time All-First-Team NBA, two-time All-Star, potentially, yes, I'm saying potentially, so you don't get butthurt, potentially the face of the league in a couple of years. Me, from fans' standpoint, I'm happy for him. He's well deserved, but also my main thing is Mark Cuban needs to open up that pocketbook and get him some more help. They did re-sign Tim Hardaway Jr., which was very vital to Dallas' success. He is probably the one teammate that Luka has who actually contributes, unlike, Tingus Pingus.
Pingus.
Boban coming back too, so it's nice to always have a fan favorite every now and then. So we get to see Luka and Boban be friends once again.
And I think what I have to say on this matter of Luka getting his extension, it is definitely well deserved. Luka is one of the few NBA players who has stuck around through all the bull crap that the Mavs have put him through. I think he's going to be one of your guys that, when it's all said and done, is going to be like your Dirk, your Kobe, your
Basically, what he's trying to say is he's going to be up there with those names when his career is said and done.
Where he's loyal to one team. Yeah, that too, but like he's loyal to one team, doesn't try to leave. I know
Dallas screws him over.
Yeah, and then at that point he rightfully gets that right to leave. But that said,
so some other notable moves in free agency. Lonzo Ball, he is now a Chicago Bull. Jimmy Butler has signed a 4-year, $187 million extension with the Heat.
Kyle Lowry is now
going to Miami.
Miami? Is it Miami? I thought
Yeah,
it was,
he's
oh
going
yeah,
to
sorry, Miami. I misspoke.
DeMar DeRozan, he is now a Chicago Bull.
Thank you, that's what I was thinking of.
Kevin Durant signed a 4-year extension, so he's going to stay in Brooklyn.
Of course,
probably for the rest of his career.
Big three.
And kind of number one for me as well. Patty Mills is now a Brooklyn net.
Damn.
So San Antonio, we're not going to be doing so hot for the next couple of years.
Yeah, Jalen's taking his talent to Dallas for the next couple of years.
Yes, sir.
But that said, moving on from the free agency aspect to the NBA draft, I'm not going to get all up into it. There's two names that I am enamored with, I guess I would say, and that is Jalen Suggs, who went to Gonzaga, and then he got drafted, correct?
Yes, he got drafted 5th overall by the Orlando Magic.
Okay, so yeah, he's going to have a chance. And fun fact, Jalen Suggs is the cousin of future NFL Hall of Famer Terrell Suggs, for those of you who didn't know. So he has the opportunity to, be up there with the Orlando greats. Shaq was there for a while, did his thing.
I mean, all they really have is Shaq, Penny, and maybe prime Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
So not many.
The other guy, Cade
Cunningham, number 1 overall to the Pistons.
He's going to be like Lightning McQueen.
I figure.
Piston. But yeah, I'm excited to see what these young bucks can do. And I think we got a little bit more to cover, and then get into our fun segment and our PSAs. Football is back.
Yes.
The
game that we all love.
The game. This is part of the reason we do what we do here at WhattaPlay. The Pro Football Hall of Fame game took place, I believe, August 5th.
This past Thursday.
This past Thursday. The Cowboys and the Steelers played each other, which I'm sorry, but those are two teams that I don't really care for. The Steelers, I believe, won 17-3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that's a game where I wish both teams would have ended in a tie. That said, we also had the Hall of Fame class, and two guys that really stood out to me, because obviously this first guy, one of my favorite players growing up, you knew this. Peyton Manning. I used to hype him up all the time in high school. He used to absolutely demolish my Baltimore Ravens when he would play us. I remember the year after we won the Super Bowl, we went on the road and this man threw 7 touchdowns on our defense.
Oof.
Yeah, and the other guy is a rival of the Ravens in Troy Polamalu. I know it's Polamalu, but
His flow is also immaculate.
yes. He played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously one of the best safeties to ever do it. Obviously, you got that Ravens-Steelers rivalry, and yeah, those are 2 guys that I was excited to see go into the Hall of Fame.
So kind of going off of what Dereck said, this,
Right
because they
here.
combined the 2020-2021 classes together.
Cough.
So again, some notable names from this past year's Hall of Fame class. We have Charles Woodson. He made
How
it
could
in.
I forget Woodson?
Megatron made it in. Obviously, growing up in the area that we grew up, Megatron was definitely a fun player to watch.
Jimmy Smith in his prime locked you down, though, Megatron.
I mean, so did Darrell Reeves too.
So did Revis. Like he watches this.
But yeah, Charles Woodson, Calvin Johnson, Edgerrin James, a former Arizona Cardinal, Alan Francara, I feel like I butchered that name, Pittsburgh Steelers legend, also a former Arizona Cardinal, and head coaches Bill Cowher and Jimmy Johnson highlighted this Hall of Fame class, and then you go to the 2020 class, some of the notable names in that one. Isaac Bruce, former wide receiver for the Rams, greatest show on turf.
Yes, and
Drew
speaking of Isaac.
Pearson, after many years of waiting, he finally made it in. So again, those are kind of the notable names from this past year's the past 2 Hall of Fame classes. All these guys, true legends of the gridiron, and they're now immortalized forever in canon.
Yes, very well deserved for all of them. I do know all of them on the WhattaPlay page. I put out a congratulatory tweet for Peyton, and then you came behind shortly and congratulated the rest of the classes. So, well deserved for all of them. And I believe, do we have anything else we need to get into before we wrap things up here with our fun segment and do our PSAs?
I mean, nothing really. I guess the Olympics, Team USA won gold again.
We knew that was coming.
Unfortunately, Slovenia kind of got screwed over because of Nick Batum, but they came 4th in the Olympics, so I was still out to Team Slovenia. I was obviously rooting for them because of
Luka Doncic.
yes, sir. France came in 2nd. Australia came in 3rd, so Patty Mills, I don't mess with you no more, man. You ain't in San Antonio no more.
Damn.
But
You hate to see it.
baseball, kind of do a little baseball real quick. Yeah, we want to talk some baseball, boy.
Why are we talking baseball?
Because the New York Yankees are slowly but surely climbing back into that AL wildcard race. You know who we got now.
Is this thing on? Mic check 1, 2. As it's always been, obviously for those of you who don't know or just new to the podcast, I am a Baltimore Orioles fan. I was born and raised in Baltimore for my youth. So it's always F the Yankees around here. And I don't give a damn who you got. It's still
Come on,
the
Porky.
Yankees. Yeah, it's still screw the Yankees, man. But go on. Do your little rant.
Anthony Rizzo came in, did his thing. Joey Gallo did his thing. You look at just look at the top teams in baseball: the Giants, Dodgers, Padres, Brewers.
Shout out my boy Manny Machado.
Tampa Bay Rays. As much as I hate this team, the Houston Astros, Oakland Athletics, they're all among the top in baseball. Oh, yeah, and the Chicago White Sox as well. But still, a lot of baseball left to be played. So,
We'll get into that down the
fingers
line.
crossed that the Yankees can make a wild card push. Because if we make it, I know what we're gonna do.
Yeah, Jalen's going to talk shit until his team gets knocked out, and then he's going to say it was rigged, how he's been doing for the past 3 years.
I just need to get an Anthony Rizzo jersey now.
Listen, Put it on your list. Santa Claus might buy it for you. But that said, can we talk about that stupid grooming rule that y'all have where you make players shave their beards?
I don't know why the Yankees still have that age-old
It's not the
policy.
1950s. It's not the 1930s. Babe Ruth doesn't play for y'all.
I mean, then again, you look at the Yankees, whether you love them or hate them, they're kind of like
they're
the model.
prestigious. Yes, I get that.
Franchise in all sports.
Okay, but that said,
Obviously, I don't agree with it either because I'm not.
obviously, I got a caveman beard. So, like, if we were in the world of professional baseball and played, I
Yes,
couldn't bring myself.
if you did your best Bartolo Colon or Pablo Sandoval impression, you have to be babyface.
Yeah, no. We've seen what that looks like. It's not a pretty sight.
Oh, it's not.
Like, this does wonders for me. But
Yeah.
that said,
Fun segment time.
yeah, let's get into our fun segment. Then we'll do our PSAs.
All right. So as we all know, we've all seen our fair share of college football. We have had players who we enjoyed watching, whether or not they play for our teams or not. So Dereck, I ask you, give me your top 5 all-time favorite college football athletes.
Okay, so right off the bat, number 1, wide receiver, LSU, Odell Beckham Jr. Still one of my favorite players to this day. Love the game. Love what he's done for the game. And, I think right
Which
around...
is what? Just make one-handed catch and not really
Listen,
do anything
Chief,
since?
let me finish this. When I first started watching college football, because I was a late bloomer to the world of sports, like my dad tried to get me into it. Yes, I have a dad. Shocker. My dad tried to get me into sports when I was younger, but didn't care for them. And then when I moved to Texas, that did wonders for me. So, first college football game I remember watching, my friend's dad took us to see LSU and Alabama play at one of his buddies' house. Well, everybody else was rooting for Bama, so I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna root for LSU. And that's where I first saw Odell Beckham play, and so yeah, Odell Beckham, number 1. Number 2, we're gonna go back in the day when we were just youngins. The guy I just mentioned that was in the Hall of Fame with a big forehead?
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning, number 2.
Did you look up his Tennessee highlights?
I did. I've done my research.
Alright.
Number 3, I'm not going to sit here and act like I was a fan of Lamar before he got to the Ravens. That was you.
Yes,
Way back when. And then he got blocked on Instagram and got in his feelings. But with number 3, let's go with an obvious. Joe Burrow. He won us the natty.
So did Matt Flynn.
Yes, but Matt Flynn was my favorite backup quarterback of all time in the NFL. He's not on my top 5 list. So we got Odell, we got Peyton, we got Joe Burrow. Number 4, I don't want to keep this all LSU, so let's go with my home state. Tight end that played for the Terps way back in the day, Vernon Davis.
Vernon Davis. You guys know who Vernon Davis is.
Did you say you don't know?
I said, my dad's an Niners fan. Yes, I know who he is.
Oh, okay. And then number 5. Let me think. Trying to go the whole realm of sports. Gonna be another Terp, just because I can't think of anybody else.
Well, who's the only other Maryland?
Torrey Smith.
Stephon Diggs?
Diggs is okay, but Torrey Smith has a more special place in my heart because of. And I know this is a weird list, but y'all gotta remember, I didn't get into.
My list is gonna be kind of all over the place too. It's not gonna be all Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, so go for it.
All right, so my top 5 favorite college football players of all time. I got this pop right here. whether you love the guy, hate the guy, whatever you feel about
Wanna
him,
be the guy.
I could care less how you feel about him. My all-time favorite college football athlete, that man, Money
Money
Manziel.
Man Vale.
Johnny Manziel. I remember asking my dad to give me like the Nike Manziel shirts when they came out. My dad has Manziel, so he obviously didn't get it for me, and now I really can't find them anywhere. But it is what it is, man. Just just watching him play. Like I'm not talking about off the field stuff, but just watching him play, and not even me being like an A&M fan, but just what all the excitement that he brought to Texas, and he kind of really made A&M somewhat popular with a lot of people around our age, and not just older alums or country folk who like A&M. Number 2, man, you can't go wrong with this guy, Tim Tebow. Easily one of my favorite college football players of all time. Just when I was way younger back in the day, just watching him play, all the hype surrounding him, and actually won stuff too. And plus, you can't hate on Tim Tebow, man, unless you're, a Georgia or an Oklahoma fan, or Florida State fan. Number 3 on my list, Tay Bridgewater, easily. I'm a big Teddy Bridgewater fan. I still support, the Louisville football team. Obviously, I go for the basketball team. But Teddy Bridgewater, what he did at Louisville before Lamar was there, he kind of put Louisville football
Back on the map.
basically back on the map, winning a conference championship, taking them to a Sugar Bowl, winning a Sugar Bowl, and, just basically doing stuff that, Lamar couldn't do at Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
So, number 3, number 4 on my list, again, native Texan, born and raised. I actually do remember wearing this guy's jersey when I was younger, and I remember watching that national championship game against Alabama when I was in 5th grade. Colt McCoy, man. Like I said, that's kind of self-explanatory. Being from Texas, I wore UT stuff when I was younger. I didn't know any better.
You didn't know any better.
I just wore it because my parents got it for me. But again, just all the hype surrounding Colt McCoy being from Texas. Because I remember he was a successor to Vince Young.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone thought that Colt McCoy was going to be the next one to give UT a natty. That's definitely going to be one of the biggest what-ifs in college sports. If Colt McCoy didn't get hurt, would Texas have beaten Alabama? And would Texas be what Alabama is today? We're obviously never going to know. And then last, but certainly not least, my favorite Oregon alum of all time, that man, D'Anthony Thomas.
Oh, yes.
The guy who, really made a lot of people Oregon fans. I still remember to this day watching the first Rose Bowl against Wisconsin, and to seeing them break that run at the end of the first quarter, those chrome helmets, man. He's what made me an Oregon fan. And yes, obviously I've gone back to my research, all that good stuff. I still remember that national championship loss against Auburn when Marco Dyer was down. But, just how explosive D'Anthony Thomas was at Oregon, and then finding some success in the NFL. You can't go wrong. And then I guess kind of some honorable mentions real quick. Marcus Mariota, obviously Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, and I'll throw RG3 in there as well.
Oh, shit, yeah. So for my honorable mentions, because, I forgot about the boy RG3 for a minute, but also got RG3, give me Justin Tucker, and give me, that's an older one, but give me Devin Hester.
You know about Devin Hester.
Oh, I know a lot about Devin Hester, my guy.
Interesting.
But that said, co-host Jalen, do you have anything you'd like to share with the class before we call it a day and wrap up this WhattaSpecial podcast?
I never have nothing to share with the class. I just sit in the back, mind my own business.
So I do have a couple things to share. Guys, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, he's, we's, they's, cover all our bases. Never overwork yourself for any sort of job. And I think co-host Jalen would agree here that no job is worth dying for. So if you're feeling overwhelmed with your job and it's taking an effect on your mental, talk with somebody. Obviously don't make any rash decisions and just quit on the spot unless it's messing with your mental health that badly to where you need to. But like, talk with people if you think like that's not for you. I know a lot of people are talking about going back to school. My education is on hold for right now, but I do plan on going back to where I started and finishing up my degree and, you know, putting some more work into this stuff. So yeah, and the other thing, I'm gonna plug something here because, you know, she let me plug my podcast over on her channel. So my girlfriend has recently took up doing a podcast. It is called, if I'm not mistaken, the Chronicles of a Baked Potato. It is over on Spotify. She has 2 episodes out. I am featured on the 2nd episode. You go over there, show her some love. She covers various topics within the mental health radius and, you know, various LGBTQ topics. I do ask, do not be disrespectful. Be respectful of people. Like we here at the WhattaPlay podcast obviously we don't support, I've said it how many times before, we don't support racism, homophobia, transphobia. Pretty much treat others like you want to be treated. Unless you want to be treated like shit, then you should probably seek medical help. That said, go give her, go show her some love over on her podcast. But that said, I think that's where we're going to end things for today. As always, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for 54 subscribers as it stands now. We are working on getting the podcast over on Spotify as well. So we're going to go through our older episodes, work on that. This episode will be uploaded as soon as possible as an apology for, you know, y'all having to wait for so long.
So one thing I kind of want to just put in before we do sign off, some future episodes that we're going to have down the road with football season starting up. A good chunk of our episodes down the line will be weekly recaps, college, NFL, but in terms of the next ones that we're going to work on, we're going to have a big NFL preview coming up in the near future. Then, of course,
before we get into that, we're gonna try and work on doing a fantasy draft episode. If y'all can get us to like 1,000 subscribers, we don't have to worry about going. We can go live and just do it that way. But
basically, he has for us to blow up overnight.
I mean, it's a long road ahead, but we're gonna try to do that. If for some reason we can't, we'll live tweet it. And it'll just be like an event we do. We'll see if we can record it. If not, if we have to use like different phones and do different aspects, we'll figure something out. So we have the fantasy draft episode. Obviously, we have the Kyler versus Lamar debate that we've been talking about since me and Jalen have started this podcast. What else do we have coming up?
I mean, really, that's it. I mean, it's football season. It's getting toward that time of the year, and you know, it's real good.
Yeah, once down the line, I think this is probably what basketball season doesn't start back up until like
October. So like another month or so.
So in another month or so, we'll have a NBA preview. We could do a college one too if we want. But yeah, like I said, thank y'all for the support. It means a lot to us. Keep growing the channel, and as always, much love.